I'm Nina Beliga. I'm here with my co-host, UB Seminary.
Hello.
Uh, our goal really for this series is to bring hope to everyone in amidst the current economic situation we're in, where there are companies that are still hiring, they're looking for great talent, and we want to be able to share companies that have created great cultures that are still looking for people to join their teams. So today, we're excited to have join us Amrita Kulkarni, who is with Magoosh. And so I'll let Amrita kind of take it and tell us a little about Magoosh. What do you guys do? And tell us about yourself, what your role is.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. So I am the head of people over at Magoosh, and we are an education company. So our main platform is completely online. We have a website and a lot of apps to basically help make education more accessible, more affordable for students around the world. Our main focus right now has been test prep, so everything from the ACT, SAT, GRE, GMAT, all of those, but trying to make it so that folks who may not be able to afford in-person tutoring or lots of programming are still able to get really quality preparation at a low price point. So that's really what our mission is. I've been at the company for 6 going on 7 years now, and I like to share that just because I wouldn't have stayed here as long as I have if I didn't truly care about the people I work with, the sense of community we've built here, and the shared passion for that mission that we all have together.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, first off, how is Magoosh handling the COVID crisis?
Yeah, that's very timely question. So we've been really trying to do whatever we can to support employees or students, and then also the community we're in with the crisis. Everything from, providing more time off and the flexibility and resources for employees, a lot of whom are juggling childcare duties right now on top of, actually working. Trying to be very understanding of the reduced capacity that we've all been at. I think our head of operations, my manager, was sharing with me the other day this tweet he saw about how it's not that we're working during a pandemic, it's more that we're in a pandemic and we're trying to get some work done. And so that's kind of been our mentality from the employee standpoint. From our student standpoint, our folks working on that on the content team, on the student help team, have really been phenomenal, trying to provide students with extensions before they ask, just to make sure that they have the help that they need, because all of the test dates and everything are getting moved around, and in some cases canceled. And then also our main office is located in Berkeley, and so we've been doing what we can, trying to pitch in and donate to the community here that we're in.
I think that's going to be a big telling sign for talent is, how companies that they're looking at handled this
Yeah.
crisis, right? And how they were taking care of their employees, but also the community around them, like you talk about. And so that's really great to hear. What are some core truths about Magoosh that you want to share with everybody? Like, what do we know? What's true today?
I think one of the things that's been true, it's true today and has always been true, is that we really do live our values. We have blog posts, we have the science, that showcase what those values are. But I think, when I talk to a lot of other heads of people at other companies, they have values, but they kind of came up with them after the fact, or, they have them, they speak to them occasionally. But for us, we really live and breathe them. Every discussion that we have when we're trying to make a decision, when we're trying to come together, when we're having all hands meetings and we're giving each other, shout outs, we call them, for different things we've done across the company, they all center back around all of these values that we share together. So that's one of those things that I like to share when folks get a chance to read through them. If those resonate with you, then I think that really is telling in terms of how you might fit into our culture and our day-to-day workflow. And then the other thing that I really like to share is just that everyone I've really had the privilege of working with is really sincere, brings their authentic selves to work. And that's something that for me personally, doing this interview in my PJs at my home right now, I just really have such immense gratitude for, especially through this crisis. I think, I had a meeting with my manager yesterday where he, with his newborn, was, bouncing her up and down. There's like a dog and another camera, and, just that's the reality of our Zoom meetings these days. And I think it's really brought a spotlight to just the dedication that folks have to our mission, to each other, and but also just like the sincerity, the authenticity, and the level of trust we have with each other, to just do our best and try and make a difference.
That's great. I mean, I think that you spoke to a lot about the company culture, and what it's like to work there. I'm kind of curious, what do you think makes Magoosh unique from companies, and especially the tech space in particular?
Yeah, I think that is a great question. I think that one of the things that I have found that makes us unique, from the, I guess there's that culture standpoint, and then there's also the product of what we do. But one thing that I think has really resonated with me with both is just accessibility. I think that when it comes to our culture, we're always taking that lens of, okay, well, how do we kind of make sure that whatever we're doing, whatever resources we're creating, we're taking that lens of making sure that that is helpful for every group of people at the company. Not just, I mean, even if you take the COVID crisis that we were talking about, there's certain groups that it impacts more than others, some that are being harmed more than others. And so making sure that, when we're coming out with resources for physical health, mental health, just any kind of support we're providing, making sure that they're not just general but also helpful to those who really need it. And when it comes to our products, I know that that's one of the things that I think has been so special with our student help. That's kind of like our customer service, but really in service of our students. We call it student help. Has been so impactful and special through this time, especially as just how folks go really above and beyond to really truly care about our students. It's not just a product, it's not just a set of videos that we're creating, it's not just practice questions with an algorithm. Those pieces are all there. It's really quality content. It really does personalize and fit into like what you're trying to achieve. But we also have an amazing set of people behind it. It's not just contracted out or anything like that. There's actual people there. When you talk to someone in a chat, it's not a bot, it's like a person, and a person who really wants to make that difference to you, whether you're freaking out the day before a test and just need some emotional support, or if you actually have a question about the material you need answered. And so I think, again, it's that personalization and accessibility that sets us apart.
And you talked about this kind of this great team, right? That's currently there. Like when you think about them and you think about the roles that you're currently hiring for, like
Mm-hmm.
what do you what defines the kind of the personalities and the behaviors of the people who are currently there, who are happy, who are successful, who've been there 6 7 years?
Yeah.
How do you define that kind of persona or what you're
Yeah.
looking for?
That's a great question. I think that one thing that really I feel like is true of a lot of the people that still have here and have stayed here for a long period of time and really excelled in their roles is that they're all very, very passionate. And I know that's just such a general term, so I'll try and make that more specific. But I feel like they care just very deeply, both about the mission. They were all tied to education or impacted by education in some way, but also about the work they do, whether it's marketing, whether it's data science or HR. They care very deeply about it. And I think that lends itself to some like self-reflection, self-learning, and growth throughout their period of time, and has enabled them to kind of take on more and more responsibilities and excel within autonomy. I think that we're very supportive, but within the roles themselves, you are also given a lot of autonomy. There isn't a ton of red tape. And so I think that folks who have that ability to kind of figure things out as they go and take on challenges and a changing educational landscape and roll with the changes, is someone who would really thrive in our environment.
Awesome. Well, I mean, it sounds like a really amazing place to work. So, can you tell us a little bit about what roles you're looking to hire for and how people can apply for them?
Yeah, so we have a couple roles open right now. There's a UX designer role and a senior content marketing manager role, both up on our website at magoosh.com/careers. The one that I'd kind of like to put a spotlight on is our marketing role, the content marketing manager role, because this position would be responsible for leading strategy for really a lot of our high school products, starting off with B2C, so directly helping our students themselves, and then potentially in the future also switching gears to directing their marketing efforts towards schools who might be interested in those high school products. And the role also has that potential in the future for management as you continue to grow out that strategy for that high school department. And it's just a really cool, exciting area for us, kind of growing in that high school space, that I'm personally really excited to see what happens with it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Amrita, for joining us today. We're going to put links to
Awesome.
how they can apply in the description below. And yeah, thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thank you so
That's
much
been
for
great.
taking time. It was great speaking with both of you.
All right. Take care. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.